Hello, I'm Daisy Payne of M.S.A. Crusaders. Today we have a special guest, and I know you all have heard of her, M.S.A. Momma, and your band. This is a very exciting episode because I had some of you Crusaders tell me about M.S.A. Momma. I'm glad I found her because she's quite entertaining, very motivating, and inspiring. Can you tell us a little bit about how your life was before you had M.S.A. Andrea?
Sure, and thanks for having us on. I'm a little bit starstruck. This is my first podcast, so I'm excited to be here. Before M.S.A, I had recently married this wonderful man. His name was Dan Brown. We got married just 4 years ago yesterday, actually.
Oh,
Um, uh,
happy anniversary.
Thank
Thank you.
you. I feel like we should have a multiplier like dog years. Like it seems like we've parented more than most people into 4 years, but it's been wonderful. So I was a market research analyst at a firm in Indianapolis. I commuted to downtown every day, and I have three children, three boys, and Dan has one son.
How old are your children?
You do?
I
How
should
old?
have
Oh,
so
sorry.
17, 18, 19, and 22.
We don't have an 18-year-old on the
There's little stair steppers there, don't you?
Actually,
Yeah.
two 19s. My son just turned 19.
Yeah.
I misspoke.
Oh, you got a house full.
Right.
All boys all the time.
Oh, you're outnumbered, aren't you, Andrew?
Yep.
Yes, but I love it. So one of my unique features now is that I burp a lot. So I asked the boys if they would just please burp as loudly as possible, so I won't feel alone, and they're all fully on board with that. It's great.
I almost says it's better out than in.
That's exactly right. Yes.
There's more room out than there is in.
Mm.
So you use your life on video and your day to day. You share that with the audience. Let them have an
Yeah.
inside view of M.S.A.
Danny can probably chime in on this one too because early on in the diagnosis, even before it was M.S.A, when it was just regular Parkinson's, 'cause, that was my first diagnosis. We used to do those funny things. Like I would get stuck at one time. I got stuck between the front door and the storm door.
I
It was
saw that
it's
when
just
you
funny. How does that happen? So we used to joke with each other that we were gonna start a TikTok channel, and at some point, you just did it because it's
Basically, because in the face of this disease, she has an amazing attitude, um, and it's really pretty impossible to find her in a bad mood. And I just felt like outside of M.S.A, there's so many people in the world who just are going through things every day, right? If that's as little as a flat tire or as big as a big disease, Um, and I just thought her attitude in the face of it needed to be shared so that people can see
it is very inspiring.
we can find happiness in the face of anything, really.
I'm sorry, Dan. What is your name?
Dannon,
like
Dan.
yogurt.
Okay,
like the yogurt, yeah.
what's the other? There's something hilarious that's coming out of you.
That's what I was named after, the Dannon yogurt.
Really?
I'm sorry, this is
Yeah.
hilarious.
Your
So
mama
I, of
stock
course,
in
I
that?
can't argue with it because I wasn't born at the time, but apparently my parents couldn't agree on a name, and a Dannon yogurt commercial came on the television, and they said, "That's what we're gonna name him," and that's what my name became.
Is like my stock in the baby yogurt?
No, no, I wish.
What was your first symptoms that you noticed or your signs that something was wrong?
Well, the first thing that I noticed was I blamed Apple because I thought they had updated their phone keyboard because I suddenly couldn't text. I thought this stupid Apple, why did they update their keyboard? And then I realized it was my hands. And then Dan noticed as I was washing dishes one day that I was moving impossibly slowly. And the same week, my boss at work noticed that I was taking like 30 seconds to take a sip of coffee. So they both kind of started teasing me about the same thing at the same time. I thought, oh, that's weird. And my mother noticed that I was limping. I only noticed the keyboard, but other people noticed other things. So then I went to the doctor to say, hey, this is weird, and she sent me to a neurologist.
Yeah, so slow movement was the first. So I do all the cooking and she does the cleanup. And watching her clean up the kitchen, I just noticed that her movements were slower and slower and slower over kind of the course of a couple of weeks. It was in the back of my mind before I finally said something to her. But
Well, and that year was kind of a, well, not kind of, it was a really rough year for us because my father passed away in April of 2022. And he noticed this after he died, so I was kind of like, I thought maybe I was just lost in thought.
yeah, May of 22 was the first symptoms.
Right.
Noticeably.
And then my mother passed away in July. His father passed away in September, and then we got my diagnosis in November. So that was a milestone year.
Yeah, a year to forget.
What was your year of diagnosis for M.S.A?
22.
Oh, Parkinson's was in 2022, and then M.S.A was in 2023. I used to go to Rocksteady, and I went several times a week, and I noticed over the course of the year that I was going downhill faster than other people, and I thought, oh, that's weird, and so the doctors referred me to Vanderbilt. They have an M.S.A. Center of Excellence.
Yes, they're awesome.
Yes, are you gonna do?
I wish they had it down here. I'm in Texas, so I'm not
Um,
far from Vanderbilt.
that
Yeah.
explains your lovely accent. I like your accent.
It used to be worse before M.S.A.
Really? Better, you mean? It's a good accent.
I was in the army and I had still sort of saying, "What is it? Live on, so you damn redneck." This is it every time. So
So her M.S.A. diagnosis was November of 23.
how has your life changed since your diagnosis?
Oh Lord, how hasn't it changed?
Right?
I initially, and I actually went on the M.S.A. app, the M.S.A. Connect app, to ask people how do you know when to retire? Because when I first got the diagnosis, I felt really good, and I love my job and I love my coworkers, and I thought I want to work as long as possible. In hindsight, I would have retired a little bit earlier, I think, because it just like that was my last more mobile months, but. All things considered, it wasn't terrible. I was not very productive my last few months of work. So I retired last July or June, I guess June, which is weird because I worked since I'm probably like you, like I worked as I could work, right? You just start working and you don't stop. Um, the kids, they're also launching as I'm slowing down. So I have one in high school and the other three are in college at this point. So Um, that's kind of nice that they are not relying on me like younger kids would. And actually, that's one of the main things that has been really helpful for me is that knowing that they're almost fully cooked, or if not fully cooked, in terms of maturity and just being independent. Um, so we moved also. We used to live in a lovely little farmhouse on 3 acres and with lots of hills and stairs and all sorts of things that were not practical. So we moved into a one-story house. Maybe you can describe it. Dan tricked it out for me, so it's fully
It's just a
camping
ranch.
enabled.
Yeah, it's an not officially an ADA bathroom, but it's a roll-in shower.
My favorite room in the house.
She's got handlebars all around
I take 2 hour showers every day.
Yeah.
I noticed in some of your videos that you're home alone.
Yes, I have I fall and I can't get up button, and then I have a ring camera pointed at my chair in the living room.
Yeah, I've seen that whenever you come up as a sloth.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. Yes.
It's nice.
So at this point, she's home alone while I'm at work, and she's still mobile by herself. So, but that's slowing down. So we'll have to rethink that here in the near future. But for now, she's home alone during my work hours. Yeah.
Which stresses him out, and I can certainly relate. So I try to let him know, like, if I'm going to go off camera, like, I try to let him know where I'm going so he doesn't panic and think I'm on the floor under the camera.
Right?
Fortunately, the camera catches all the open space because the only other space would be the bedroom for napping or the showers.
Right.
Um, I should have done that. My husband ended up quitting work to take care of me. We should have went with a ring camera.
Yeah.
He's in the industry, so he knows all the tech tools. But
Oh,
even
that's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. My company's, we've discussed me going to work from home for a few days and then we'll likely just have to hire some help otherwise.
Well, and it's gonna work out nicely that my son is getting ready to graduate from college. He's gonna spend a gap year here at home next year before he goes off to graduate school. So we'll have another set of hands around the house too.
Yeah.
And he's preparing to be a physical therapist, so that's gonna be really helpful for me too.
You know, emotionally, having your son mother you rather than the other way around.
Well, one of the first things that my son, my middle son, who also wants to be a physical therapist, took me to a doctor's appointment or exercise class.
Thanks.
Exercise class, and he walked me in, and like it was so cute because it reminded me of when he was little and I walked him into class, kind of. I
Yeah,
was sure you want to make sure I was okay. It was just really cute. It was heartwarming really because you see your kids a certain way, and I think at this stage in their lives anyway, you're kind of getting to know them kind of as an adult. So to be able to see how compassionate they are and how sensitive they are to what I need, and they each respond differently. My oldest son is kind of he's a little bit more how would you use it, kind of more relaxed, I guess.
Yeah,
My
very
middle
much.
my middle son is very attentive and very sensitive. My younger son will say things like mush mush, like he's funny. He encourages me, but he won't help me unless I ask for help.
He's the tough love
Yeah,
son. Yeah.
they all are very helpful in their own way, but it's so funny how different they each are. Like like my youngest son will also like they all actually all of them push the wheelchair when we go places, or they'll like drive me around in a wheelchair. It's nice. I think, yeah, and I'm not sure how old your kids were when you were diagnosed, but um, I think it's nice to see how they respond.
yeah. My son just turned 30. He's my youngest.
Okay, and you have a brand new grandbaby, right?
He's yeah, he's the one that has a great movie.
Nice.
Wow.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very exciting to be a grandma. I'm a lolly. That's what she calls me, lolly.
Lolly.
Or she's gonna call me lolly and call my husband pops. So she's got lollipops.
Oh, that's
Oh,
cute. I
that's
like
cute.
that.
Yeah, this is here too. You have to have a laugh. Laughter's good medicine, isn't it?
Yes, it's the best.
Yes, laughter is great medicine.
Well, and you asked about emotionally. There was the green bean incident early on that I'll let Dan tell you about. So, I generally keep a pretty positive outlook, and I think I've sort of always been an optimist, but a lot of it is his fault because he's just hilarious and works very hard to make me laugh. But there are moments I'm sure you can relate where stuff just hits you and you can't really, you have to kind of process. So I'll turn over the phone to the green bean incident.
Well, we were very open from the beginning about what information we could gather, and so we would discuss what life was going to be like and what trying to get ahead of things. And um, she appeared as though everything was well, right? So she didn't really discuss her feelings, but she didn't. Andrew's a processor, so she didn't know how to explain how she was feeling, but she was starting to feel certain ways. So one morning I was cutting green beans because I was doing a crock pot meal, and she came and put a pot next to the cutting board in the sink. And I said, "What's that for?" And she said, "Just scoop the beans, the trash beans in there, essentially." And I said, "Well, no, I've got a big cutting board, babe. Like I don't need to dirty another dish for no reason." She said, "Okay," and she walked away. And she came back with a plastic bag and put it in the sink. And I said, "What's that for?" And she said, "Well, for the trash beans." And I said, "Babe, I have it's a large cutting board." I said, "I have a big cutting board. I'm just going to scoop it in the trash." And she said, "Fine, cut your own bleeping beans," and
I didn't
walked
say
away,
anything.
which is not like her at all. So, and I'm a very I always want to understand how people are feeling. So right away, I immediately thought, well, that's not about the green beans. So let's figure this one out, right? So she went to the bedroom, and I called my boss and said, hey, I'm going to be late this morning. So I went in the bedroom, and she said, just go to work, leave me alone. And I said, okay. So I went back to the kitchen, and I waited for her to come out, and I pulled her car out of the garage. Mind you, I've done that every day since the day we got married to this point.
That's sweet.
She came out and said, did you pull my car out? And I said, well, yes, right? I've done it. Literally, I've done it every day. I didn't say this to her, but I said, yeah. And she said, well, it must be nice to help somebody, to be able to help someone.
Wow.
Obviously tipped off how she was feeling, because she was slowing down so much, she felt helpless, if you will, right?
Yeah.
So I stayed in the kitchen. She went to the bathroom. She came out of the bathroom. She said, just go to work. So I thought, okay, well, I'm not going to stay. We're not going to resolve this right now, so I'll leave.
Anger
Within
outburst,
a
man.
mile down the road, she called me to apologize and explain briefly how she was feeling. So we talked that night. But she's probably had 5 or 6 meltdowns ish, which is crazy to think, right? Like with the news that she received and what she's going through, to simply have just a couple meltdowns like that is beyond me.
Well,
So.
I think a lot of my processing happens alone. It's much easier for me to be emotional and to kind of be open when I'm by myself, and I can just sort of deal with it, which I used to do when I was driving. So obviously I don't do that anymore. Then for a while I was in the shower, and now I just kind of now just all over the place because I don't know. I don't have a place to process.
It is nice when you can drive to work, but that's your time.
Right,
Right.
exactly.
Well, she used to take the bus. She used to drive to a bus stop to sit on the bus because that was stress free. She didn't have to drive. It was downtown Indianapolis, so she didn't have to worry about traffic. She didn't have to worry about people. She didn't have to worry about red lights. She just got on a bus, and that was her time to kind of clear her mind
And the
and
city
have her
bus,
thoughts.
you can be whoever you want to be. There's no one thinks it's weird because our house is kind of bizarre also. There's great people watching too. So,
Like, process of the day. But
yeah,
like,
exactly.
I understand. I lived in Dallas for I think 10 years, so I really understand those traffic.
Yes, yeah.
Because I work 20 miles away from home, and it took me 45 minutes to get to work.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow. Yeah.
It's really crazy. But it was my time. I don't have that anymore.
Right.
So,
Right.
well, tell me, uh, what gave you the idea of video and everything and making it?
That's his fault. I think it's because he's a wonderful storyteller.
What?
You're a wonderful storyteller, and so he would tell stories about things like me getting stuck between the door and the storm door, and he would tell stories about me getting
Right.
stuck in my coat, and then we realized how funny that was. And then someone in your men's group at one point made a comment that I think that sort of spurred you on.
Well, because Andrea had mentioned to me as she started to slow down, she said she was struggling with her purpose, right? So
Right.
her purpose of raising her kids, they were all
Um,
self-sufficient. So she felt like she was kind of done with that, even though mothering never stops, obviously. But she had raised her kids. She's now just struggling with the idea of slow movement, not being able to help around the house. So she was struggling with her purpose. And a friend of my Bible study said, well, maybe her attitude is her purpose. Maybe, sharing her attitude, which we had discussed the TikTok, but that was kind of what really brought it on, was like, we need to do something about this, right? So that's kind of what it was, is she was struggling with her purpose, and sharing her attitude, I feel like, was.
I like the video that you made of you running to bed.
Oh, the running to bed. That was the first one, I think,
Oh,
right?
really?
That
I
was
think it was our
fun.
first one, yeah.
Yes, my son evaluated he told me I needed to work on my plant foot, right?
Yeah.
That was cute.
That was funny. And the one with your coat. I was like, I can understand. I can relate to you so much.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wish I just had cameras on her at all times. She's really rather hilarious.
Well, I think it's sort of our family theme.
True.
It's how it seems to be how we do everything. And my kids were home, all three of them this weekend, and just listening to the three of them talk, it's just humorous of how we communicate and how we deal with stuff. And your son too.
Yeah, it's my son too. We're all kind of, but fortunately, she's got such a good attitude. So she would say things, and Daisy, you'll understand this. The movement portion, right? She would say, "Okay, I'm going to go to my office," and she would be sitting in her chair, trying to start to scoot forward to get up, but she would say, "I'm going to go to my office," and then she wouldn't move for like a minute and a half, right? But she was trying to, right? She was trying to get started, and I say, "Are you really going to the office? Because you don't look like you're going anywhere right now." And she finds that kind of stuff hilarious. So
I'll say I'm right behind you, and he's like, "Really? Are you? You're not right
Are you
behind.
sure about that?
right,
I'm somewhere. I'm somewhere behind you. I will be eventually." Yeah. Well, the sloth thing came on. My former boss referred to me as a sloth ninja early on. So then my sloth collection started, and that's been kind of fun too. Because
yeah.
sloths are adorable.
Oh, just one thing I want to ask you. Virtual reality, you seem to play that a lot for, uh, it helps you move better, right? Does it really?
Yeah. So I've had mixed experiences with it, but Dan documented the first really great one. I think, and I don't have data on this, but I wish someone would study it because I think it's this one particular mixed reality deal, or mixed reality is better for me than straight on virtual reality because I can see where I am in my current surroundings. It's like stuff layered on top of your actual room, so you don't get disoriented. But it helps you stretch out. Like if there's a floating object over there, and you reach for it versus just trying to straighten out your arm, and it's fun.
Yeah.
And then when you touch the object, it makes a sound, and it makes a like so you get visual and audible feedback, which is important. So all that combination, the stretching, the feedback, it helps with movement. And I think it helps me usually limber up a little bit. Um,
That's it.
yeah, I don't have the same, I don't have the same profound reaction every time, but it always makes me feel a little bit looser.
Right.
I don't do it standing up anymore because I don't want to fall over.
No, you don't play that when you're not home with you, do you?
Yeah, sometimes I seated, but I don't stand up doing it.
Yeah, she'll play it. She'll play it on her own if she's in a chair, but not standing up.
Yeah.
Should I hate you hurt yourself playing it?
Well, and she
Right.
slowed down using it because, and I think this is just a function of the brain with M.S.A. is it really stopped having any positive effect briefly when she was doing it every day. And then if she didn't do it for a few days and then got back on it, she would have a little bit of a bump in movement.
Mhm.
So I think it's just, you know,
Well, because you get so tired so fast, and I got excited about it. So I would
Yeah.
do it longer and longer, and then I would just be worn out for the rest of the week. So,
There's a lot of energy.
yes, I had to learn how to, thank you. I had to learn how to sort of pace myself.
But those are some of the things that manage your symptoms and keep your spirits up.
Well, yeah, I think it's funny too because if you think about it, everybody think about it. I went from having all sorts of responsibility with my work and parenting and everything, and now I have none. Like my only job now is trying to get to the bathroom on time. Like, like I don't cook, I don't clean, and Dan is he's convinced he's happy to do everything. So I just sort of float around and look at the birds and appreciate what I have. And the other thing that we talked to my neurologist about last week was one of the things that allows us to be so joyous. I think is being very real about what's coming. Like we know that my body is dying, and I think for me, sort of recognizing that and saying it and just being okay with it is important because if you pretend that you're not, and if you pretend it's not happening, it's a constant shock. But I think it's interesting too that the more my body slows down and sort of shuts down, the more my spirit seems to be getting bigger. I can't explain it, but it's wonderful.
Well, that makes sense. You're accepting. It's, you're not taking your body for granted.
Right,
Oh,
right.
I see Dan pulls you up when
He literally does. Yes.
I lean to the left or the right. My husband will sit me up.
yeah, we do that a lot. I stiff arm her a lot.
Hey, Mama,
Or when we
Mama,
drive, I
I'm
do this to push her back in the seat.
I want to develop some sort of giant magnet hat that I can wear. They'll take me to the back of the seat of the car. Because otherwise, I fall
Slumps. Yeah.
forward. Yeah.
She goes to the right. She goes down and to the right.
If you and I sit together, we can hold each other up, Daisy.
Yeah.
Do you have the pads on your chair that keeps you sitting up straight?
No, but that's like a good
No,
idea.
but that's a good idea.
You know, I got them from a chair, and within a week I stopped bleeding.
Really?
Really?
Because I'd be sitting at the dining room table eating dinner and lean. Now I can actually sit at the dining room table and sit straight, not lean.
Where did you get those?
Um, from the wheelchair manufacturer,
Oh, okay.
Okay.
you just
Cool.
call it, call it. I thought I was getting a 5-point harness. You just call them and you tell them that you need something to keep you up straight,
Hmm,
and they'll come out and they'll put the pads on your chair.
Wow, that's cool.
that's cool. So is it only for your wheelchair? Can you put it in a regular chair?
It's on my power chair.
Okay.
You have a power chair, right?
I
No,
don't.
she doesn't
We
yet.
rented one when we were out at a volleyball tournament in California a few months ago, and I almost
It was a
ran.
near
it
disaster.
was a lot of fun for me, but I almost ran down over many times.
Well,
I don't go very
That was
slowly.
the video. She tried to run me over in a hotel room. That was a rental. That was a rental. But I ended up walking next to her and steering it most of the time because she couldn't, she just couldn't move fast enough and or let go. So she would run into walls, or if we were around people, she
Aim for them.
nearly hit a few people, and I would have to take the joystick real quick and correct it. But so I ended up driving it for 2 days with her sitting in it.
I'm on a walker at this point, but when we go places like that where there are lots of people, or if I'm going to be out and about for a very long, he just pushes me in the wheelchair. He and the boys.
I suggest you get a power chair. You have Medicare, right?
No, I'm not old enough yet.
I suggest you get a power chair as soon as possible, even if you don't really need it, so that you can learn how to drive it.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny that they ran into me this device and there was no instruction. I was just like, here you go, you can go 40 miles per hour. Good luck.
Yeah.
I immediately drove into a wall.
I interviewed a girl that just got hers when the first day she ran into a tree.
Oh no.
She was on your show, wasn't she? I heard her.
Okay,
Yeah, that was hilarious. I wish I had filmed that. That would have been cool.
Right.
he's somebody else that enjoys their life with laughter.
Right.
I find it really important to do so. And if you could say something to your past self, what would it be, Andrea?
Oh, just relax. Everything's gonna be okay. You can't possibly anticipate what's coming up, so just relax and enjoy the moment. Don't get so uptight about everything.
And do you have anything you'd like to say to somebody that has M.S.A?
Um, well, actually, I would say you're gonna get like newly diagnosed, or
Yeah, newly diagnosed.
I think trying to get in community with other people with M.S.A is important. One of my frustrations is that I've never seen, actually, you're the first other person with M.S.A I've ever seen. I've only seen you online, so I'm happy to see you because it's important to be able to see someone else with your. Yeah. I heard about like representation, but I've never really experienced the need for it because I'm
It
kind of
helps you realize that you're not in this alone, right?
right. Well, and just have a baseline like, oh, I'm being okay, or I'm in a similar stage as this person. One of the things that we talk about right now is what's coming next, and I can't. I think about a year ago, last year, our two boys who were seniors in high school at the time, we went hiking in Utah for a week. So I hiked like 14 miles over the course of a week 1 year ago. And now I can barely walk like 100 yards, and I like
100 yards.
100
100 feet.
inches.
Maybe.
I'm
Yeah.
not a walker or help. So I can't imagine what a year from now will look like, and I'm curious. So that's one of the things I think being in community with other people is helpful.
Do you find helping online with social groups?
I'm sorry.
Well,
Online. No, well, the M.S.A Connect is probably the best one. Some of the Facebook ones I've seen are kind of, it seems like there's a tone of, it's very negative. Which I can understand on an individual basis, but I think with M.S.A Connect, it's a little bit more positive because there are practitioners there as well. There's kind of the intention is more like, what can we do about this? Than I have meltdowns as we talked about, but I don't like to stay in that very long. I kind of want to focus on what I can do. Sort of, I find that more motivating, and it's hard to just constantly be confronted with people being sad. I don't see that people shouldn't be sad because it can be sad from time to time, but all sad is hard in an online community. And that's the thing that I've noticed in a lot of places. So I kind of avoid them.
Do you use Mission MSI?
Yeah, the M.S.A Connect app, yes.
Yes, we support them.
Yeah, I like that group. That's where I ask questions like when do I retire and what tattoo should I get next?
How they reached out to you and um have you done videos, testimonials?
What's that?
Have
three
you
tattoos. She said something about the tattoos. That was my tattoo. The picture I put.
Mission MSI? Have they reached out to you?
Oh, Mission
No, I
M.S.A
don't
hasn't
think
reached out to
so.
you.
I'm surprised they didn't air your videos for like testimonials.
Oh, I don't
Part
know. I don't really know. I don't usually post them. He runs the whole TikTok show, so
Yeah, I post
it's
them.
his fault if he's did.
Right.
you do good, you
You're on
really do.
the
Yeah.
show.
Surprisingly, I found through TikTok a lot of families that are going through it. Whether it was a husband or a wife or a grandma or a sister or I've probably gotten messages from 10 to 12 people, but Mission M.S.A, not that I'm aware of, has reached out.
Probably should be more proactive.
Well,
I can tell you more.
Yeah,
make sure they see this video and follow you on TikTok. You're on Facebook too, right?
Yeah, she's on Facebook. Yeah.
and he reposts everything
Yeah, I
on
put anything I put on TikTok, I put on Facebook also
and Instagram.
and Instagram.
Well, it's very nice talking to you. I feel like I already know you from your videos.
Likewise. I'm fascinated by the fact that you and David have enough energy to do a podcast. I love that you do it because it's like I said, it's the only it's the next best thing to having someone in person to hear and see. It's very encouraging.
And David, Austin Crawford, do y'all watch him?
What's that?
I'm sorry,
Austin Crawford.
Austin Crawford. Name doesn't sound familiar.
Hmm.
You have to check out his videos. He does
Oh, okay.
Well,
fighting USA.
Okay. Austin Crawford.
right now.
We need
Yeah.
more people to get out there and show what USA is all about for awareness.
Yeah,
Right.
I didn't realize until I saw the most recent Mission M.S.A. Video, a little mini documentary, that M.S.A. is about the same incidence in the population as ALS.
Oh, Dennis Clay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that documentary with Dennis Clay.
Yes, it is. That's cool.
It's
Yeah.
very interesting. Yeah, he hopes to get 60 million people with USA in their house, so they know what it is.
Right.
The documentary airing 60 million people will know what USA is. It's awesome.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Most anyone who asks has no idea, and most people think you say MS.
Yes,
You
you
try to.
have to say multiple system atrophy.
Or Parkinson's Plus, which sounds like we get extra channels.
Right.
There you go. Well, Andrea, Dan, it's been nice talking to you. And
It's very nice
remember,
talking to you, Daisy.
remember that we're all M.S.A crusaders. Danny, you're M.S.A crusader. We're all M.S.A crusader.